Why I'm not excited for Spider-Man PS5. Spider-Man PS4 hands down was one of my favorite games I've played in recent years. From the story, the combat, side missions, the constant additions to the skins you could wear, and the DLC to name a few. The replay value was phenomenal, and there aren't too many games out there that makes you want to beat the game multiple times. I had and have next to no grievances with this game, but all my issues come from elsewhere. Here's why I'm not excited for Spider-Man PS5. And this isn't to say that it won't be a great game and most likely a significant improvement on the first one, but this is just my opinion. Feel free to disagree. A sequel wasn't an absolute necessity. I always saw Spider-Man PS4 as a solid base game through which they could constantly update and improve on. With the inclusion of Easter eggs of other superheroes like the Wakandan Embassy, the Sanctum Sanctorum, and the Avengers Tower, to name a few, I figured that they were going to include them in some form of DLC in the future, but I'll get to DLC later. This might be just me, but it's called Marvel's Spider-Man, and because there weren't many limitations gameplay-wise, and the game is almost flawless, why not just create updates, more skins, and DLC? If you're a fan of Spider-Man games, then you know that Spider-Man 2 was probably one of the best games at the time, graphics aside. You couldn't find much wrong with it. The same can be said for this one. It's not like this was an Arkham Asylum where you can already anticipate the sequel upon beating the game because there were so much limitations on things that you could do. Much like Arkham Knight, where it felt like the ideal Batman game, and it's hard to think of how and what they can improve on if they ever made another one, which may or may not be the reason why we haven't gotten or heard of another Batman game being in development. Lots of DLC content to explore. If anyone remembers, there were a lot of rumors of a potential Fantastic Four DLC being released. That the shutdown of Fisk Tower was supposed to be the Baxter Building. That, coupled with the fact that they had released around that time the Amazing Bagman skin, really got me excited. The way Insomniac did the City Never Sleeps DLC was hands down amazing. I had thought that it would be more DLC just like it, to eventually find out that it would be the last. And I'm not going to be Mr. Ungrateful, because at the end of the day, even if you know what you're doing, it will still take a while to beat the game, and the DLC 100% from start to finish, even if you know what you're doing. So I can't say that there isn't enough content, but at the same time, another DLC or two in the meantime wouldn't have hurt at all. I'm going to keep this one short. I think Miles Morales is a cornball, purely corny character. I don't have an appreciation for his character at all. This game would have been a masterpiece with or without him, and the same could be said for the next one coming out. I hated every single time you had to play as him, and I'm going to dread having to take breaks from Spider-Man to swing around as this fool, but I digress. In short, I am anticipating and excited for whatever storylines the sequel is going to follow, more so than the game itself, because like I said, there's not a lot that they can improve on, but I could be wrong, and most likely I'm going to be wrong. By no means am I bashing Insomniac, Sony, or whomever involved. This is just for opinion's sake. Also, I'm new to the YouTube scene. Any feedback, comments, likes, and subscriptions would be highly appreciated. I hope this video finds you well. See you on the next one. Peace.